Just do it. What's going on, guys? Sacred Eagle, and today I'm going to talk about the Eagles and Brandin Cooks. Not only Brandin Cooks, but the draft and Chase Daniel. So about a couple hours ago, the Eagles got the 14th spots in the draft for round 1 after winning the coin flip with Indianapolis. And with that happening, a lot of rumors started floating around about Brandin Cooks and Chase Daniel in the trade rumors, I guess I should say. I'll start off with Chase Daniel, just because it's going to be quick. I'm going to get this out of the way. There have been rumors that the Eagles are going to try and trade him because he's taking up too much on the cap, just to clear up some room. And in my personal opinion, that's a great move if they are able to trade him, because he's not that great of a backup. When you really think about it, I personally don't feel at all that impressed by him, and the money that we gave him is absurd for what he's worth and what he is as a quarterback. He's not that great a quarterback, and I feel at our quarterback spot, Carson Wentz played his entire rookie season. I know a lot of things can change. He could get injured next year, which I don't want to happen, of course. But I feel like other backups that will take less money to be on a roster, will, of course, come to Philly just to be there, Chase Daniel is not worth the money that we're paying him, and he's just not worth being in an Eagles uniform. I feel like we should trade him, or if we can, cut him and just give him some money before we cut him, But the main focus is the draft and Brandin Cooks. The situation where this kind of ties together, the Eagles are rumored that they could possibly trade a pick from this year's draft, a pick from round 1 or 2, to get Brandin Cooks, to acquire him from the Saints in a week or so. Now, this is just a rumor, but it's kind of gone around, especially in the Eagles fan base on YouTube. And I'm just spreading my opinion on it. I've seen Hey Darius and I've seen EDP make their opinion on it, and EDP said that he doesn't want that to happen. He says that it would be a stupid move, and then Hey Darius says that it has to happen in his title. So I'm on the side that says this has to happen because Brandin Cooks is worth a pick, in my opinion. Now, we've had rumors, going along with Kenny Stills, a lot of people that, will take up a lot of money. Deshaun Jackson won't take up that much, in my personal opinion. Jeremy Maclin, it would depend on if he gets cut, and we don't think he might get cut. Kenny Stills is worth $12 million. That's not at all worth it. But Brandin Cooks, EDP said it in his video, and I kind of agree with it. It's a good observation that Brandin Cooks is kind of like a slightly upgraded Deshaun Jackson. But when you really think about it, that's what we need. We need somebody like him who can stretch the field. And I saw this in my comments in last night's video about this whole Brandin Cooks thing, to begin with, that yes, he can stretch the field. He can make plays happen. He's one of the better wide receivers so far in the past 3 years of his career. And not to mention, we need somebody. It's not that the Eagles, we don't have to draft wide receivers. When you think about it, we got Bryce Treggs and Paul Turner. They were rookies last year. Jordan Matthews, he was in his 3rd year last year. Dorial Green-Beckham, 2nd year. Nelson Aguilar, 2nd year. We don't need to draft any more wide receivers. We need somebody who actually has experience and has had success in his offenses and has been healthy. And that's exactly what Brandin Cooks brings to the table. He can stretch the field. He can make plays happen. And he is just that deep threat that the Eagles haven't had it since the departure of Jeremy Maclin and Deshaun Jackson 2 or 3 years ago. It's crazy to think that people don't want this to happen. When I personally believe that it should. It's easy to make this decision. If they can find a way to trade for him, get it done. Just make it happen, because we need somebody like him. I wouldn't draft a wide receiver. In the draft, I would focus on offensive linemen, linebackers, corners, maybe a running back, depending on what our status is with Ryan Matthews and other running backs. But personally, we should get somebody like Latavius Murray or anybody else out there besides Jamal Charles. I feel like he'd be too much for an unknown result because of how injured he's been lately. I mean, the Eagles aren't that broken of a team. When you really think about it, they just got to find themselves. And I mean, we were broken in 2015, and that's for sure. 2016 offseason we were broken, but you saw the team come together towards the end of the season, and I think that's the team that we can be if we have the proper tools, the tools that'll help us win. And Brandin Cooks, a running back like Murray, that can help us out a lot. And, going side by side with Carson Wentz, Darren Sproles, Jordan Matthews, Zach Ertz, Brett Selleck, Trey Burton, our offense isn't bad. When you really think about it, last year we struggled because we weren't that great wide receiving. Like, we didn't have that many wide receivers besides Jordan Matthews. He suffered injuries last year. He was carrying the load on our wide receiving core, and it wasn't enough. Dorial Green-Beckham didn't step up until later on in the season. Nelson Aguilar was struggling consistently throughout the entire season. Had a few sparks, like week 1 against Cleveland or week 16 against the Giants with his long touchdown catches. That's it. Trey Burton and Brett Selleck weren't used enough. Zach Ertz felt like it looked like he didn't want to play half the time. Until we played Seattle, until we played New York and Dallas, he didn't want to play at all. That's what it looked like to me. Brandin Cooks, I know he'll give this team his all, and I want that from him. If we can get Brandin Cooks and maybe Alshon Jeffrey or Deshaun Jackson, somebody to go along. We should just get 2 wide receivers this offseason. That's all we need. A veteran and a speedy guy. That's all we need, and that's exactly what I've been saying. Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey. If we can trade for Brandin Cooks and then pick up Alshon Jeffrey or pick up somebody along those lines, this team could be something in 2017. I'm not saying Super Bowl. I'm not saying playoffs. I'm just saying something better than what they were in 2016. And 2018, 2019, I feel like you can expect the Eagles in the playoffs, maybe being Super Bowl contenders. That's my opinion. Tell me in the comments again what you guys think about this whole Brandin Cooks situation. Should the Eagles trade Chase Daniel? Who should they draft in the offseason? Subscribe for more content. Drop a like. All that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Fly Eagles fly, and have a great weekend, guys. I'll see you later.